Y'all need to upgrade the Wi-Fi.
There is none. I'm using my phone.
It's on the 2022 one. Oh, the 2022 one.
We're good, sir.
Yeah. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Northern Hills Homeowners Association meeting. I really want to commend all of you for being brave enough to show up for this in-person meeting. And also, I would like to thank the District 10 staff, especially Raul, for setting it up so we'll be able to actually be broadcasting this right now. So those of you who are briefing, remember you have to take your mask off while you're briefing. And also, we are broadcasting, so remember your language needs to be cleaned up. Guests here tonight that will be speaking in a few minutes. One of them, of course, is our District 10 Councilman Clayton Perry. Welcome, Councilman Perry. Thank you. The other one, of course, will be our safe officer, Officer Grant. He's here as well. And I've asked him to say a few words about our COP program too, along with Carl Stevens. So I really appreciate his comments about that. Also tonight, this is a big agenda because what we wanted to do was really go over some of the programs that have kept us all very, very busy. Programs such as our scholarship program, COP, communications, beautification, and the garage sale and cleanup day. So we'll be going over the details of those programs as well. Something tells me you'll be able to hear me a little bit now. Okay. All right. Well, let's begin the program then by hearing from Councilman Clayton Perry. Everybody give him a big hand. Yes, sir. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Well, howdy, everybody. It's not in the morning. Come on, howdy. There you go. That's the way I like to hear it. But yeah, the most important part is this little blue ticket tonight, right? I can't wait to see what's in those gifts up there. But thank you very much again for inviting me out here. It's been a while, and it's good to be getting back into the swing of things. Although, you know, as everybody knows, there's an uptick in this virus again, and we got folks ending up in the hospital and that kind of thing, and you know, it's stressing out the hospitals. But you know, I have my own personal feelings about this, and we'll see where this goes. I had a very good conversation with the city manager here a while back, about a month ago, and he said that we are not going to go backwards. In fact, we're not going to be going to where we were last year. And that's straight out of his mouth. That's not mine. It's not the mayor's, but the city manager said we're not going to go backwards. Now, are we going to shutter businesses and things like that? Absolutely not. And right now, as you know, there's a court battle going on. Anybody lawyers in here? Okay, I didn't want to offend lawyers. A lot of lawyers are getting rich right now. Okay, but yeah, we'll see where all this goes. It's a tug of war right now on mask mandates, and we'll see where that goes. And it's, the way I understand it, it's primarily about schools, you know, and whether parents want their children masked up or not. And again, we'll see where that goes. What's hot right now? Well, we just had our District 10, okay, other than the room here. We had our District 10 meeting last night where Eric Walsh presented the budget. We had a lot of people from different city departments there ready to answer questions and explain the budget process and why they're putting in the amounts of money into these different pots that he talked about last night. I would encourage y'all all, if you get a chance, to go to sanantonio.gov and there's a little search box up there and just load in budget or FY22 budget for this next year. And it'll pop up and just peruse through it. But if you have questions and comments about it, I highly recommend that you send those comments in, not only to me, but to the mayor and other council folks that are sitting up there. Because I can't do this all alone. I need y'all's help to make your voices heard. And again, it's not just me, it's 10 others up there on that stage. To me, it's not a dais, it's a stage, because there's a lot of theatrics that goes on up there. So I call it a stage. So please, if you would, go and take a look at that, give us your comments, and this today was the very first one of the package, and I call it the big thick book. It's about that thick that we have to go through every year and review. Today we did our police SAPD budget and what was the other one? Health and Human Services.
Metro Health.
Metro Health. Yes, those were the two budgets that we did today. It's been a long day, but very good discussion. And if you know me, I was one supporting the police, saying we need additional police patrols. And that equates into additional police authorizations for the city. Much to my surprise, there's still a couple of council folks up there that don't want to pay bill for additional police. They would rather take that money and pay for social services and things like that for crime prevention up front. And they got an argument for that, but I've asked my staff to go back. I want to know how many crime prevention programs we're funding today, and all these different programs, to include like after-school programs, all these mental programs, mental health programs, and youth programs. To me, those are all crime prevention measures that the city is already paying for. I'm telling you, it's untold millions out there. And my question to that is like on the homeless situation. I know y'all have homeless around here also, but we're spending $80 million a year. $80 million a year for the homeless here in San Antonio. You do the math on that, that's a lot of money per person we're spending. And my question is, well, how much money is enough? How much would it take to take all the homeless off the street, get them jobs, or get them housing, get them the services that they need? How much is enough? And nobody can tell me that other than we need more money. That always seems to be the answer coming from my colleagues. And this isn't just from this year. This is from since I've been on council since 2017. The answer is always money. And guess what? Every year we spend every penny of y'all's tax dollars. And one of the things that I pushed and I'm proud of, that I got a homestead exemption started here in San Antonio, something that we've never done before. And I asked for it to be increased this year. John Burge was the only one that supported me on that. So it didn't get in this year's budget. So we're not going to get an increase in homestead exemptions. And just looking at your property taxes, how many people's property taxes went up this year? Yeah, it's crazy every year. Not only that, but fees and rates that are tacked on to SAWS bills, CPS bills. I want a larger homestead exemption. And I argued my point until I was blue in the face, but it didn't work. I'm going to do it again this next year. I'm going to call for it again this next year. And took me 3 years last time to get this started. But if it takes me another 3 years, I'll keep pushing for a bigger homestead exemption. Because that's your money. And we're paying for so many additional services in this city right now, today, that you deserve a break. Homeowners deserve a break. Lowering the tax rate. Wow. We haven't done that since 2016. And up from 2001 to 2001 to 2007, the city budget increased by over $100 million. But we offered a tax reduction. The tax rate was reduced. From the last 5 years to today, it's a $500 million increase in our budget. And nobody's willing to talk about it using our tax rate. So I'm going to keep pushing that method. And on top of that, our trial budget workshop back in June showed that we were going to carry over $42 million from 21 to 22. That has now increased to what, Raul? Over $60 million? And that's based on your taxes, whether it's property taxes or sales taxes, have gone out the roof. And the city says, oh, we're not increasing your tax rate or anything. We're going to keep it the same. Well, dadgummit, you're still paying more because the values are going up. And we should be giving some of that back to you as the taxpayer, especially with these huge carryovers from one year to the next. And we've had that every year since I've been on council. All right, let me get off of that. Road shows. I would be happy to do a road show. I don't know if y'all get my newsletter, but in the newsletter it talked about road shows. What we do is we let you decide on what city services or CPS, SAWS, that you would like to have at this meeting. And it's not a lecture meeting like I'm doing right now. It's where we do a short introduction and we open it up for you to go and talk directly to development services, code compliance, the safe officer, CPS, SAWS. All of those organizations are available. ACS, Animal Control Services. And whatever y'all want, we can have at that meeting, and you can talk directly to them. Because a lot of people don't like to get up in front of a crowd, right, to talk. So this is your opportunity. If y'all want to, we'll set that up here in Northern Hills. Be happy to do that. I've got a great facility. Okay, it's a little bit warm here, but I got a great facility here to do something like that at. I already talked about coronavirus budget. We're today again was our first one to talk about police and Metro Health. I had a lot of comments. If you get a chance, has it been posted yet?
Usually today, 24 hours.
Okay, within 24 hours on my Facebook page, you'll be able to see these budget discussions from last night. And that's an important one. If you want to go take a look at that, that was a presentation by Eric Walsh to District 10. We were the first one to be presented to. So go back and take a look at that. Airport, Councilman Gallagher asked me to talk about the airport a little bit. You know, their first plans were we're going to build another brand new runway. We're going to extend one over 281 and make it like a 12,000 foot runway. And I said, what's all that based on? Well, we think we can get international flights here out of San Antonio. And I said, well, have we asked the airlines? Do they think that they would ever fly international flights to Eastern Europe from San Antonio? Well, we haven't done that. So a lot of discussion about that. And I can tell you that it's been scaled back tremendously. We're not going to build another runway. We're going to keep the 422, which actually flies over Northern Hills, and the main runway, 322, we're going to keep it also, but extend it a little bit, and to take a little bit longer runway to maybe entice the major airlines to do something a little bit longer out of San Antonio. So that's the current plan. That's always subject to change, but we're not talking about something that's going to happen this next year, 5 years, 10 years. We're talking about 20 to 25 years from now. I'm not going to be around to see it. So your kids and grandkids might see it or might not, because it depends on what the FAA is willing to support. One of the things that I had direct communication with Mr. Symes, who came in and briefed Councilman Gallagher and myself about flight paths. You know, the noise footprint that is established out there. There's airplanes are getting off that flight path and they're causing noise problems in housing. It has not had that sound attenuation added to the houses. So he's working with the control tower to clamp down on that and keep those pilots in that flight corridor instead of letting them peel off early and create other noise issues for y'all here in Northern Hills. And Oak Park Northwood, that's another big housing area here in District 10, and they're complaining about it as well. So he has told us that he's working directly with the control tower on that. So I'm waiting to hear back from him on the results of some of those discussions. We'll keep you in the loop on what's going on. Boards and commissions. Always be looking at the newsletter. I need volunteers. In fact, coming out, I think in this next newsletter or other media sources, we're getting ready for this next bond, which was another shocker. Eric was telling us, expect around 600, maybe up to $800 million for this next bond. Guess what it came in at? $1.2 billion. And I said, that along with our budget that is now over $3 billion, $3.1 billion, I said, man, this city is drunk on money. And that actually got posted in the newspaper. I knew it would, but I was serious. We we got more money, but, you know, it's the priorities, what this council is looking at are what their priorities are, in my opinion, and not what the communities really want to see out there. I've always said police and fire protection first, infrastructure next, and those are really interchangeable based on what I hear from y'all. Then property tax reductions. Those are the top three that I've been going after for 3 years. I've been successful on all three of them, but you know, like this year, I'm not going to get an increased homestead exemption. We're going back to more money for streets, which, by the way, District 10 gets more for streets than any other district because we have a larger network and our streets are in worse condition than most other districts. So, and we can talk about that also on this map to show you the results of that. So those are always my top three priorities based on your comments. And give me your comments. You want to see more, I don't know, linear trails, or do you want to see more, I don't know, recycling, whatever your special interest is, let me know. And we'll put it down and take a look at that and see if we can support it into this thing here. So this map right here, this shows there's two different colors on it. I can't even see them from here, but there's a legend down there. What it is, it's what we have done since I came in office the last 3 years, and what we're going to do in the next 3 years, based on our yearly infrastructure maintenance program, IMP. That's what we call it. So if you get a chance, take a look at it. And if you have any questions, concerns, whatever, give my office a call. We have changed priorities around a little bit. We try to stay away from that because this is all based on city staff and their recommendations based on what they call the PCI score, on what condition your street is rated out of. So anyway, but we're open to discuss that anytime. Sir, I don't know if I have any more time for any questions or.
Yes, sir. Councilman, let's go ahead and take a couple of questions. Well, I know we've got one about Scarsdale. Let's go ahead and start with that.
How do you want me to ask that question?
Got it. Take your mask off so we can hear you.
Councilman, I have all the way up with Public Works Director meeting about Scarsdale. He explains that get anything done in regards to the amount of traffic, the speed of the traffic, and the type of the traffic, it begins here. The reason that I'm here tonight is to find out if anybody in this room is concerned about the traffic that is on Scarsdale. I've been here 22 years. My property's been 3 times. My neighbor twice, and her neighbor across the street once. And I estimate that the average speed is 45 miles an hour on Scarsdale. And from Bell to Thousand Oaks, there is not any speed control whatsoever until you get around the corner here by the apartments of 0.2 miles from Thousand Oaks. So that means there's 1.1 miles that has no speed control whatsoever. And so the city put it back on me to come to the neighborhood to see if there is anybody else concerned. I sit there every day because of the pandemic, and I watch and hear the traffic go by. And there are several people that go in excess of 60 miles an hour.
Okay, well, we got the idea, Mr. Crocker. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be happy to work that with you. You know, all these speed control measures, I can't just go out there and put speed humps. I can't just go out there and put stop signs. I can't just go out there and put stoplights. And I consider those all speed control devices. But oddly enough, they are not considered speed control devices. Humps are. Smaller streets, dividers, those kind of things are, but traffic lights and stop signs are not. So we can certainly take a look at those and things about like crashing into neighbors' houses out there. I got another example on O'Connor, and I had a meeting on site with Public Works and everybody showing them how many crashes have been, and these are rock fences on Longs Creek there that have been crashed into numerous times. And one house has little kids playing in the backyard, and they say, well, we can't do this, we can't do that, and we can't do that. And I said, all right, you send me a letter signed by whoever saying they can't do all this, but they'll accept responsibility when one of these kids gets killed. I'm not willing to sign that. So they are looking at different ways that we can protect those houses and backyards that face the street. So we're working that issue. If y'all have those kind of issues here, and I know we came in on Scarsdale here and made some improvements right around that curve. And if there's additional areas along the street that we need to take a look at, let's sit down. Come on into the office, sit down, and we'll go through it.
Let me get there tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We work it every morning, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, go ahead.
Just know what's going on at in Young. Is that just a dump area or is that being fine?
Okay, yeah, I talked about this several times about an upcoming project. We're actually widening Boulevardy from Quiet Meadow all the way down to Green Springs. That's how far we've got money for right now. And Young Road, okay, I know what you're talking about, all that dirt that's being dumped up there. All that property belongs to a family called Poppy. The Poppy Estate, it's 250 acres there. And they own a construction company. And they've been hauling in dirt, excess from construction sites. But I can almost guarantee you why they're unloading it all there, because I don't know what the timing is, but expect to see about 2,500 homes being built. And they're putting all this fill in there for filling in low places and cutting down high places and all that stuff in there. So I don't have a date for that, but I've been told, yes, they're going to build housing in there, and it's the densest housing, W6, I think it is. No, W3 or 4. But anyway, it's one of the densest housing developments that they can build, and they're going to squeeze as many in there as they can.
Okay, how about over here? Anybody have any questions for the council? Go ahead.
Hey, the winner from last night.
Who's building it next to
Nacogdoches and O'Connor. Yeah, there was a, okay, it's actually, I don't know, maybe that's changed. Last time I heard it was going to be a fast food restaurant. And I mistook you for somebody that was at the meeting last night. Sorry about that. It's the mask. It's the mask. But yeah, last time I heard it's a fast food restaurant. But let me tell you, I'm glad that building is gone, because that was a haven for homeless, camping out around that building all the time. We had a devil of a time. But building's gone. They're building what I think is a fast food restaurant. They didn't have to change zoning, so they obviously can come in there and build whatever they want.
All right, you've got time for one more. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. That's on the top of the list. When you see any congregation or anything like that, call Steve Peterson or Jarvis Swallow in my office. They're already working on that. We're at the corporate level on Walgreens, and we've actually fined them several times already on the appearance of the building and for allowing homeless to be camping out on their property there.
All right. Well, Councilman, thank you very much. We really do appreciate your time tonight. Let's give him a hand.
Yeah.
So I hope you'll stay around. We've got a lot of door prizes. All right, moving right along. Well, let's see, Officer Grant, why don't we have you follow and give us just a couple of comments. One of them would be, we'll hear a little bit more from Carl on it, but about the COP program, how that's going, especially the training these children. What's on here?
Thank you. I'll talk louder. You guys hear me? All right, awesome. COP's back in session classes. Somebody called our office a while ago and kept asking about it. The next class will be July 26th between 6 and 10 p.m. August, I'm sorry. August 26th. If it changes, I'll let you know. Something might change from 6 to 10. Just to address a couple of things that I've heard, let's go backwards. Walgreens, constantly in that parking lot, giving Steve Pearson some information of what's going on in there. It looked like it slowed down for a little bit because it was actually turned into a COVID testing site. So the homeless was kind of scattered somewhere else. Now that it's closed again, the issues kind of come back. Just to let you know, every day I'm out there criminally trespassing them. Just to kind of, you can tell Steve Pearson, but you can also call our office directly or call me directly. That's my project. That's a project that I have open working. My direct line is 207-5197 is my desk number. Straight there. And then Scarsdale, who's the, I believe you called our office several times. We've constantly worked out that I personally set out there and run radar. I've given that information. That's an ongoing project that I have with Scarsdale. So all the information that I have is in our system as far as the speeds and the traffic citations that I issue out there. It seems like a catch-all, or the fix-all is to put a radar tree. But to me, it doesn't really work. It helps. A body out there will be some kind of countermeasures for the traffic. So your pain, we're working on it. It's not going on.
Well, like, that's gonna be a key. Park security.
We're working on it. I mean, it's like everything nowadays, we gotta cross our T's and dot our I's.
Okay, let's see if anybody's got any other questions for Officer Grant right now. Anybody else? Okay, one back here, go ahead.
Cars and loud mufflers that drive around the neighborhood.
Good question.
Right, there is an ordinance. The only issue is by the time you get out there, I know there's a car shop that's on Rosemont Parkway that we also have a project on that. That continues, just call our office.
Car on Bell and people around on 7-12 o'clock. Loud muffler.
Yeah.
Loud.
Souped up cars and the Harleys, stuff like that. It's kind of tough. Our best.
All right, very good. Well, let's give Officer Grant a big hand. One of the programs that I was hoping we could get a lot more coverage of, but we couldn't do it because of this darn virus. When we had to do our Zoom meetings, or WebEx meetings, I guess I'm supposed to call them, was our scholarship program. Didn't get to really publicly recognize the folks that we had selected for that. So I'd like to have Jan Handley, our chair for this program, talk about it for just a few minutes. Jan?
I have been the scholarship chairman for Hills since 2015. Before me was Bonnie Kirkendall, or Bonnie was Sally Rice. Sally actually started the program, to the best of my knowledge, 2005. So it's been going on continuously. Every year, our goal is to award at least two $1,000 scholarships to two students who graduate from high school. They must live in Northern Hills, must be members of the Homeowners Association of Families, and they must have been accepted to a college or university or a training school. This past May, we didn't have a meeting, but we tried to recognize these students the best that we could. We awarded two $1,000 scholarships. One of the scholarships went to a student named Liberty Davison. I talked to her last week. She was going to move up to UT Austin, and she actually moved up there on the 13th. So she was not able to be here, but She will be going to UT Austin, and she is a student from Madison High School. Our next scholarship in May was awarded to Jordan McKinley. Is Jordan here by chance? Okay, she went to the International School of America. And Jordan will be attending St. Mary's University, majoring into English and hoping to go to Austin. Every year, though, we do award as many scholarships as we possibly can. The amount of $1,000 per scholarship. And like I said, the family must be a current member of the association. And they must have lived in Northern Hills for at least 1 year. The applications are on our website, Northern Hills website. I also take paper scholarships to Madison High School. And so they will have those scholarships in the counseling office. But you can print the scholarship application starting in January approximately. We'll have it updated. And you can print it from our website, fill it out, and then make sure you send it in. The applications must be sent to the Northern Hills box, or you can contact myself by April 1st, 2022. So that's when the next scholarship will be presented, or will be due to our office. The number of scholarships, so that we award, is based on donations. We rely on our Northern Hills residents to donate money for the scholarships. And so if we get more money, we can award more scholarships to students. So if you would like to make a donation to the Northern Hills Scholarship Fund, you can make your check payable to the Northern Hills Homeowners Association, and make sure you put on it is for scholarships. And you can mail it to the address, or again, you can call me and I'll come and pick it up. But we do rely on scholarships. We like to be able to give as many scholarships as we possibly can, but sometimes we're limited on that. Any questions on the scholarships?
Anybody at all? Other common courses that Capital Smith, Zachary's done a lot to help us out too.
Every year I do contact Zachary for a possible donation, and they've been very, very helpful. So we do owe them a lot. They do help our neighborhood organization a lot. So a lot of the scholarship money does come from Zachary and Capital Agnes.
Jan, thank you so much for all your work for all these years. Let's give her. We're going to hear about one of our most visible programs, one that I think is so important and a big statement for Northern Hills. That is our COE program. Carl, if you could say a few words. Stated earlier, program was a list. Before anybody can participate in it, have to class that you mentioned August 20th. And once you get that, you get a certificate. Then join in. What we do is go through the whole area, just observe. If you find anything, have to talk. You call the police. Don't do it. But my main thing is this is to teach. They know that we're looking, so that really does help our country. We have pairs of two by usually, it's like a 2-hour ride. And twice a month usually. Most of them are at, one, I think. It goes at night. We actually need more. Right now, we have 24 people. Have approximately 16 rides. Before COVID hit, we had more than that. Rides at that time. Last one that we had classes, we had one couple that riding with several members. Basically, pretty much it. I am a temporary leader. I'm trying really hard to get some help. The thing is, I work with the police department and scheduling. I do all my other activities quite a bit. And we need. The other thing I want to mention before is membership chairman. She's not here this week. What I wanted to tell you is today I to pick out have 9 people who signed up on. That's great. That's really good. Well, thank you very much, Carl. If you have a question, go ahead.
Mentioned I was probably 12 participants years ago. One of our stalwarts, Don Wilkins, after he spent many nights in the area.
Well, thanks for mentioning him because, yeah, he was a big asset for our community, he really was. Okay, any questions for Carl about COP or about PayPal? I think that's one of the really good news ones. Okay, thank you very much. Let's give him, oh, did you have one?
Email, so we can give you an update schedule.
Oh,
It
it would be
something
tight.
like every month.
Yeah, okay. Titus for that. That's good.
I'll get it.
Yeah, you guys get together. All right, thanks a lot, Carl. Yeah, what he has to do not only COP, but treasurer too. He's had a lot of work every day. All right, next we get to hear from a ever-changing program, our communications officer, Jane Kirby. Ken?
One of the things that Mike asked me to talk about, and I think most of you all already know, is that every Monday night we have Monday night dinner at a different location. And of course, we couldn't do it for a while last year, but it seems like most of the restaurants are really excited to have us back. One of the things that's happened, Camporelli's has finally opened up on Mondays. But the last time I talked to LaFonda, they are not open. So that's been an issue with some of the restaurants. But my name is in the newsletter, and if you want to email, I'm doing kind of slides into the other thing is we have a new email system called Constant Contact that we're using to send out any information to the residents of Northern Hills. As of right now, we can have up to 500 people on it, And we're getting a really good return rate. People in constant contact tell me that most of the return rate is under 20%. Ours is anywhere from 30. So thank you all for reading the constant contact news. And if there is anything that you think we need to get out to the to Northern Hills, please don't hesitate to email me and let me know or something. You know, I've received things when we've lost some people in the neighborhood, new construction, anything like that. We need to get out to our neighbors. Just email me and we'll shoot out a constant contact email. And
Hey, very good. Well, thank you very much, Jan. Any questions, Jan?
there's a list out in front. So please, if you're not on constant contact, make sure. Thank you.
Besides Jan's list for constant contact, we also need to make sure to get District 10's list to make sure you're on that as well, because we have to keep up with the things that are going on in our area. Okay, next we get to hear about beautification in Great Blankenburg. Let's give our former president a big hand.
One of the questions I constantly get about your road. Well, it's a real big problem. Because recently sent a letter out to all the residents. This property backs up to your road. It's their responsibility to mow. Have to keep after them and after them. Have the cleanup day in October. Ask anybody to come and possibly help us to try and really get that. It is a constant hassle. There's just, every time we send a letter out, we'll get 4 or 5 more new people to clean up. There's just some people just never. One thing else you can do, is call one, ask for the code of compliance, and get a complaint. Enough people call, enough complaints come in. Minute issues, citations. We maintain since all the Northern Hills locations. We also mow and maintain no man's land, Clear Lake up to Hilton Head. Pay monthly for service does that. No way we could afford to hire someone to hire your road. So one of the other things now that Dow's notes had up to the entrance on the right hand side. It's the only place we have water. And unfortunately, it's been busted, I don't know how many times. What we finally figured out is people who were riding lawnmowers, driving right over top of the boxes, just crushed regular pipes. So I'm looking for a volunteer to come down there and help me with this thing. So it's a lot of digging house because we have to dig out, expose meter. There's another junction box, right at the end of the junction box. Mower goes over, bust that line to that. To do that, I'm going to build a barrier around there so you can't ever use things again. If someone would like to volunteer, it says, I think it'd be a good idea. 7 different volunteers, great gardeners. I'm sure we can do it. Would like to decorate the entrances, flowers, and so on and so forth. We could have a contest at the end of the year and see who did the best job. Something. Anyway, that's about all that's going on. Anybody have any questions or anything?
I'd like to mention that familiar with geocache. I have geocaches planted all around Northern Hills. Some of them are behind the nice rocks. If anybody is working in that area, comes across a camouflage fill bottle, a little silver fill container or something like that, that's an official geocache at the bottom. Once a month or so, I go around and check and make sure it's still there. Occasionally, I get notice of people who have been trying to find them. They have disappeared.
Anything else?
Anybody else?
Okay.
Okay, Ray, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Last speaker this evening is the lady that's in charge of garage sale and cleanup day, Kathy Green. Kathy?
My name is Kathy Green, been in the neighborhood a long time, doing garage sales, so this one approached me about it, and we have garage sales twice a year, the first Saturday in May and October. There are deadlines. I make up a map. People call me, and my information is in the newsletter. Just call me and give me your address. I don't need to know your name, birthday, or anything like that. Just give me your name and I'll put you on the map. We have a map and we kind of exit or give you a number that coincides with your address. And those will be put at 7 different entrances in the neighborhood. You don't have to be a member of the association to be on the map. It's open to anyone that would like to take part. The more people we do it on that one Saturday, it's advertised by the association. They pay the ad. They also pay for the printing. And it would be nice if everyone did their garage sales that particular weekend. You have 2 days. You have to get a permit. You have to go to HEB or get it online. Don't ask me how to do it online. So y'all figure that out or go to HEB. And they're $17. You have to post that permit on your garage door. So if a city person is driving by, they can see it. Otherwise, you may be fined for not having it out and about. It starts at 9 o'clock. Many people start the garage sales at 7 when you have a herd of people outside your house waiting to get in. But on the permit itself, I don't know why the city says 9 o'clock. Seems unfair, but I'm not going to have it because I have known people to get tickets for doing it ahead of time. So it's for 2 days, but we only advertise for Saturday. So you can get a permit for Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, or do it a half a day when you're done. You're done. And then the neighborhood cleanup follows after that the following week. So in May and October, the second week, the second Saturday, I'm sorry, we have the cleanup. We need volunteers. We always need volunteers. I think the average age is 72 that is out there. It's very unfair to us old guys that are trying to keep the neighborhood clean. And we just find more and more things to do in the neighborhood. Even if you can't participate on that particular day, why not walk around your own block and pick up trash? We need volunteers. I've contacted a scout crew. If you know of anyone that I can contact that needs service hours, please give me a call because we need help out there. We have gloves that we make available to you guys and bags, and we just try to send people off, walk in the neighborhood. I had a scout last time that walked the neighborhood and did a great job, but we need volunteers. So if you have any suggestions on volunteers to help us out for an hour, or they can help us out for the 4 hours. Dollar truck comes in, it's free of charge through the city. They park their vehicle at the pool. And so that's where we meet up that Saturday, the second Saturday in May and in October. I hope that y'all will come out there and help us. Or else you may have an elderly neighbor or a handicapped neighbor that you see things that are accumulating around their yard that maybe needs to be removed. You could actually knock on their door and be neighborly and see if you can remove it for them. Or else give me a call and my volunteers with the truck will, go pick it. So if you have a neighbor that has some big items that need to be taken, rotten items, whatever, refrigerators, we don't take chemicals, and if you look at the newsletter, it'll tell you which things are acceptable and which are not, so I'll have you just have to look at the newsletter for that. Does anybody have any questions about either one? It's good.
Good job. Thank you. Well, almost every day Kathy is out cleaning things up around her. So, I mean, what a great lady. We really appreciate all the time you've done. One thing that she mentioned, I think it's kind of important that hasn't been brought up yet, is our mysterious newsletter. Believe it or not, it will be coming out. The printer told us that it's going to press, so they'll be announcing this meeting in that newsletter. So, you know, they're just a little bit late, but this will be our first experiment with this new company that's going to be printing it for us. So we'll see how they do and hope that they can improve. One of the best parts about the new newsletter is that we're going to get it out every 2 months now. So we'll have a lot more content out there than we have in the past. All right, now we're going to take care of a couple of announcements and then do the most important thing, and that is pick the door prizes. So we got to get ready for that. Our next Neighborhood Alliance meeting is September 20th at the Tool Yard, if everything goes okay. With COVID, I hope it does. So that'll be one we'll want to see. And that's a good meeting to go to because we talk the attorneys who are looking at what the legislature has done about passing rules that are going to affect the power of homeowners associations. And it is not a pretty sight. So that's a good meeting. Again, it's September 20th at the Tool Yard, 7 p.m. for the Alliance meeting. I hope as many of you can be out there as possible and talk to the attorneys about this very bad legislation that was passed this year with the Texas legislature. One important change is we're not going to have what we used to call National Night Out anymore. It has been changed to Neighborhood Together, Neighbors Together. So it's going to be on October 5th. So mark that on your calendar. One thing I need to ask you, just to get a feel for the people that are here, would you rather have one big one at the pool, or would you like to have them dispersed around the neighborhood? Let's see, how many for one big one at the pool? Raise your hand. How many for little ones throughout the neighborhood? Okay, looks like we know what most everybody wants to do. So we'll be working on that because the board has brought that up. We've got to make a decision on that. The other thing that this is an ugly story, but we all need to be aware of it, and that is there's going to be, it looks like we received a briefing about a development for across the street from here in that empty lot. It's just across the street from the golf club here. Is they want to put in 19 townhomes, 19 three-story townhomes. So we'll be getting more information about that for you, and we'll be trying to get that information out so we can get some feedback on whether that's something that we want to have added to Northern Hills or not. I've worked with the golf course about it, and they're going to be talking to their board about it as well, whether that's something that would help or hurt them. So we just need to keep open minds about it and see what we need to do on it. Okay, let's go ahead now and go for the door prizes. Who can help us out here? Gail, you got the container? Yeah. Okay. Jan, you can be the delivery person. And let's see, we need, how, okay.
Carol's granddaughter.
Okay, Carol. What's her name?
Sibby.
You two. Give me the ticket you're on. I'll let you read it out over the mic. I'm going to read the last three numbers. Okay, the last three numbers. Everybody get ready. 396. Milton won. My goodness. Okay. What did you win? What do we have there, Jan?
We have that is blueberry jam.
Gail's homemade blueberry jam. All right. Somebody's going to be lucky tonight. Last three numbers, 8, 6, 7. Ta-da! Yay. Yeah, Jan.
These are more of Gail's goodies.
Oh, boy.
That smells really good.
I want them. 8, 8, 3. Ta-da!
I'll share mine.
This, I'm not sure.
Thank you, Claire, whatever it is. Last three numbers, 3, 9, 3. Way in the back, okay. No, I got you. Okay, what you got? Oh, it looks like a beautiful bottle of wine. All right, the number is 8, 6, 9. Right.
Okay, this is a gift certificate, the art trustee booth. And, Fernando said that they were asking what, but don't worry about the date on it. It's
What do I have? Okay. 3, 9, 1. Ta-da.
oh, what's their lunch? Or deal.
Okay, more Gail. Okay, 3, 9, 7. Oh, our secretary's wrong.
Get by line.
Bottle of wine goes to 8, 8, 0.
Linda. Over here.
Uh-oh, there's only 2 left. You better cross your fingers. Are we ready? 8, 7, 0. Zero. Three, 9, 2. Right. Okay, the very last prize. Get ready, everybody. Here we go. 8, 7, 1. Somebody need glasses? Eight, 7, 1. All right, here we go. Well, I'd like to thank everybody that contributed to our prizes tonight. In my
One thing I forgot, if you have anything to go in our new newsletter, please also email it to me. Likes and things.
deadline.
The next deadline, yes, very good. He's gonna have a birthday this week, so, that's good on him. September 15th.
Yeah, we want to hear everyone that all the August, yard of the month. So.
I've already got it.
All right. Okay, everybody, is there any questions before we close the meeting out? All right, well, thank you very much for being brave and turning out tonight. We really appreciate it. Take care, everybody, and have a good evening.